Hello and welcome everyone to the UFC Fight Night Santos vs. Teixeira Virtual Media Day. Today's event will begin shortly. As a reminder, this is being recorded. Up first, we will be joined by #1 ranked UFC light heavyweight Thiago Santos. Please click your hand icon if you wish to enter the queue. We'll get through as many questions as possible. Hi Thiago, thanks for joining us today. We'll kick things off with Jay Anderson from Cage Side Press.
Thanks very much. And Thiago, welcome back. It's obviously been a long time coming, over a year with the injury and everything else. The fight's been postponed a couple of times now. Just give us an idea of what the past 18 months has been like for you and how frustrating has the wait been?
Through hard time. Better now, I'm so happy to.
I think we might be having some audio difficulties. I'm not sure if I can hear the responses.
Yes, Thiago, can you...
All right. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Thiago, can you repeat your answer? We didn't get it.
Yeah, I went through hard time, but now I feel 100%. I feel good. I'm so excited to be back.
It's good to hear. With the delays, I mean, you had COVID, Glover had COVID. Was there a point that you thought maybe, okay, the Glover fight's not meant to be, maybe my return will have to be against someone else?
Falou que o primeiro teste de Covid, o segundo teste de Covid passou na sua cabeça que poderia ter outro lutador?
Yeah, I saw maybe UFC try to put other guy, but just wait, focus on my recovery and the health to fight again. And I'm happy this fight moved, and now it's gonna happen.
Give us your thoughts on Glover Teixeira, because he's had quite the career resurgence in his last couple of fights.
Fala sobre o Glover, ele teve ressurgimento da carreira dele.
Yeah, Glover is a tough guy. He's doing very well, especially for this age. He's a tough guy. He's tough. He's fights so good. He has good strike. He has good jiu-jitsu, wrestling. He's a danger fight. I need to pay attention about everything, and be ready for that.
And where do you think a win, I mean, if you're able to get past Glover on Saturday, where does that put you? Because a lot of people saw this as maybe a #1 contenders fight, but it looks like Israel Adesanya is going to get the fight against Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, I don't know. We will see what's going to happen after that fight. First, I need to win Glover Teixeira. I need to do my best and show for everyone that I be back and I am really #1 contender. And yeah, we will see what's going to happen after I fight. I believe who won the fight deserves to go to the title shot.
Do you have any concern that if Izzy does win the title, he might delay things at middleweight by going after, for example, John Jones and holding up the division?
Você tem alguma preocupação que, de repente, se o ganhar, ele pode parar a divisão porque ele quer lutar com o John Jones?
No, uh, and no one know what's gonna happen. No, I need to do what I need to do. I need to win my fight, and after that we will see.
And last one for me, you wound up, being out for quite a while. What helped you keep your focus and your and your motivation for all this time?
My focus, my motivation, because I'm back. You know, so long time I have stopped, so I'm so happy to be back to fight again, to do what I love to do. So it motivates me.
All right, well, welcome back. Looking forward to Saturday.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Mike Vaughn with USA Today.
Hey, Thiago. I'm just curious, how long have you felt 100% with the knees? Because obviously this fight was supposed to happen a while ago. I assume you felt good then, and now you have a few extra months. How long have you been feeling 100%?
I think after 8 months, between February and March, I felt 100% to start my camp.
And it sounds like you feel that maybe with a really good performance here against Glover, that you can maybe get that title shot back. Obviously, you have the win over Jan. Do you feel like, if you put on a good enough show here, you can maybe push Israel Adesanya out of the conversation a little bit?
Yeah, we will see. I know Dana White spoke about Adesanya, but no one knows. Still don't have contract. No one know what's gonna happen. I need to do my best this Saturday. I need to win my fight, and then after that we will see.
Does any part of Izzy coming up to 205 excite you, though? Because when we spoke about a month ago, you said that's a fight that you really want, and you talked about maybe a catch weight, but now if he's at 205, that seems like you wouldn't have to drop down to fight him.
O fato dele subir para a sua divisão te excita, porque não precisaria nem ser um catchweight, poderia ser no próprio meio pesado.
Yeah, sure. I would like to fight against him. I believe I can beat him.
Awesome. Thank you, Thiago. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Damon Martin with MMA Fight.
Thiago, I wanted to ask your opinion. What did you think of Jan Blachowicz' performance against Dominic Reyes? Because I know you guys kind of became friends after you fought him. What did you think of his performance against Dominic Reyes?
He did very well, and I saw he win that fight. So yeah, he did very well. He improved a lot, and I'm happy for him. But I won't take that belt.
You mentioned, of course, we don't know 100% what's going to happen, after this fight. The winner seemed to be next in line for a title shot until this whole Adesanya thing came about. Is there any part of you that's angry or frustrated that Adesanya even got mentioned right now until after you fought? Because I think most people assume if you win, you get the rematch with Jan. Is there any anger or frustration that they already announced the Adesanya stuff?
Yeah, honestly, when I saw first time, I felt a little bit frustrated. But after I spoke with my manager, so we need to understand how things look, and I need to do my best. I need to win Glover Teixeira, and after that fight, we will see what's gonna happen. Still, people speak about Adesanya, but still they don't have contract. Everything can change. My focus is in do my best this Saturday and make a great victory, and then after that we will see.
with this fight, Glover Teixeira has been on quite a run lately, looking really, really good. The Anthony Smith fight and obviously his win streak. What have you thought of his performances lately?
Yeah, he did very well too. Glover is a tough guy, you know. He fights very good, strike, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, you know. But I'm prepared for everything. I think it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a war, and I love that. I love war.
And last thing for me, Thiago, you came so close to beating John Jones in your last fight, and you did a lot of that on one leg, basically, with your knee injury. Do you still hold out hope to maybe rematch John one day, or was there any disappointment that he decided to leave the division before you came back?
Oh, I'm not disappointed, but sure, everyone want to see this fight again. You know, I want to, but first, my focus in get that belt, like the light heavyweight division, become champion. It's my goal. So, but sure, after I did this, yeah, sure, I think about rematch against Jones.
Thank you, Thiago.
Welcome.
Up next, we'll go to Ezekiel Bergazzi of Super Luchas.
Hey Thiago, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
What did you learn from the Sean Jones fight?
Was a great fight, and the first things that I learned about overcome, survive, you know, and yeah, something like this. I had so big injuries in my knee, but still I keep fighting, you know, 5 rounds, and making me proud of myself.
And now you are going to fight a very good version of Glover Teixeira, who is preparing with Alex Pereira, the Glory Kickboxing champion. Are you aware of that? That he's preparing his kickboxing to fight you? How do you feel about that?
Prepare for fight against me. I prepare for fight against him. It is what it is. You know, let's see what's gonna happen this Saturday. Alex Pereira is not Thiago Marreta.
And when Sean Blachowicz won the title, do you feel that you have more chances to beat him and become the champion? That maybe a rematch with Sean Jones? Like, do you think that you have more probability to become the new champion that you had before?
I don't know. I think doesn't matter if Blachowicz or if Jones is still the champion, because I'm #1 contender. You know, I fought against Jones. I lose that fight about split decision, and doesn't matter if Jones or Blachowicz. If I win my next fight, if I did good job, I think I deserve the title shot.
And how do you feel facing another Brazilian? How do you feel about that?
Normal. You know? I started before fighting against Brazilian, you know, in national shows. So normal for me. We're gonna go there and gonna do our job, and after we stay friendly. It's not any problem. It's part of job.
Thank you and good luck on Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll take our last set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cape Cypress.
Hello, Thiago. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Thiago, you had some extra time, a little over a month, to keep training for Glover after everything. How did you use the extra time? How did it help?
I'm use that time for improve, for learn more, for prepare myself. So before I was 100%, now I'm 110%.
Because it's been so long since your last fight, how does it feel to be back in fight week? Does it feel more exciting? Does it feel like it's been a long time? How does it feel compared to other fights you've had?
I feel happy, I feel happy to be back, and I'm enjoying all the time in the fight week. And yeah, that's it. I feel happier than other times.
Leading up to your title fight, you were very popular. You had a lot of great knockouts, a lot of stuff. You have a lot of fans who are worried. What about Thiago's knees? What if he's not the same? What is your message to your fans who are worried that, you're not the same after the injury?
Don't worry about that. 100%. I'm prepared so good. I did so good camp, and everyone can wait the best Thiago Santos ever.
Thank you, Thiago. Good luck.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's all the time we have for you today, Thiago. Thank you. We're now joined by UFC heavyweight Andrei Arlovski. Our first question goes to Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press.
Hello, Andre. Just two quick ones. You fought a lot of different fighters in your career. I guess, what is the feeling like? You're not up against a veteran, but you're up against a guy pretty new to the UFC.
First of all, he's pretty new and he's so far the youngest one. Feel excited, very excited about this match. No doubt about his stuff. He's dangerous, young, hungry, so I'm ready to go.
Being the former champion and the veteran, does it bring more motivation to your training? Because, it almost seems like they're looking to build him with a win off of you, possibly.
Things like that, they're fucking wrong. So I'm very excited, like I said, about this match. I have my plans, my goals, I have my motivation. I'm talking exactly about my two little sons. So fuck everybody else that they're thinking about. I'm here to help him get like victory or some veteran or something. Listen, in heavy division can anything happen. One punch you can win a whole fight, and one punch might end up everything what you put in the first 3 rounds. So I don't care. Like I said, I'm here to beat him. I had a great camp. I had great coaches, and I'm super motivated. I'm ready to go. Like I said, at age 41, I'm pretty much the first guy who come into the gym and the last one who live in the gym after workouts. So I choose what's more important for me right now. I choose my priorities in my life, and that's it. I'm ready to go. Like Nike, just do it.
That's all for me. Thank you.
We'll go next to Mike Vaughn with USA Today.
Hey, Andre. This is your 33rd UFC fight. Only 2 people have more than you, Donald Cerrone and Jim Miller, who each have 36. But you actually have more fights in this run with the UFC than you did your first time around when you were champion and everything. How do you feel about how this stint has gone compared to, obviously, your first run earlier in your career?
There's a big difference, only one big difference is my age. Years ago. And listen, I don't know. Some beauty in that time, what happened with me like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, some beauty right now, like I said, like I'm really excited, and I'm 41 and I still play my game, fighting, so I'm a lucky person. I love what to do. I love fighting. I love training hard, and UFC fighting is my passion. So I'm a very lucky person.
And if you look at the list of the guys with the most fights in UFC history, you're the only heavyweight that's really up there. There's no other guys who have competed in this division or in the sport at heavyweight as long as you have, or as many times. What do you think the key to that is? Because obviously, there's a lot of damage that can be inflicted in heavyweight fights.
Listen, first of all, take care of myself. My wife take care of my face, and I take care of my body. I'm on a diet. Like I said, I choose what's more important for me right now. We have great example. It's like not many UFC fighters over age 40 still fighting. It's like me, Alexei Oleinik, Yoel Romero, Anderson Silva fought last weekend. But listen, I have a great example. George Foreman, he became a world champion at age 46. So mark my words. For me, prime time ahead of me in near future.
And you mentioned it earlier, this is the youngest guy you've had to fight kind of in this run. You've been in this position before. Do you think if you win this fight, you deserve to get the opportunity kind of flipped around where you get the chance to fight someone, ahead of you and move up instead of fighting a younger guy who's newer to the promotion?
Listen, I'm like other heavyweights in the line. Fight for bigger fights. But listen, I employ UFC. I'm fighting for UFC. Dana White, my boss. Listen, I didn't take serious fucking Rosenstruck when I fought him last year in November. Listen, like I paid for every my mistake. So another young guy, good. I never choose my opponents. I'm just I'm ready to go. Boser, we'll see what's gonna happen after Boser.
Great. Thank you, Andrei.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll go to Ezekiel Berganzi with Super Luchas.
Hey Andre, how are you? I wanted to ask you, how do you feel after Anderson Silva's retirement? Because he debuted in the UFC when you were champion. So how do you feel after watching all his career and now seeing him retire?
Listen, I think he did a lot for UFC, for mixed martial arts, so what I can say, Anderson, enjoy your retirement.
And you know, Tanner Boser, talking about your fight, Tanner Boser comes with 2 victories with knockout. So, are you going to fight him with the distance, knowing that he has a knockout power, or are you going to brawl him? Like, are you going to exchange a lot of punches with him?
Brawl with him. Well, and like I said, in the past fights, only my mistake what I did it was because I didn't stick with my game plan. I had a great camp. I have a game plan for my fight on Saturday, so hard work behind me. It's easy to fight, but what's going to be hard for me is stick with the game plan. That's it.
And how do you get used to train under the pandemic circumstances? Because you had one fight this year, and this will be the second one. So are you used now to training under all the social distance and stuff?
Don't train on social distance. I'm training like full contact with my sparring partners and my coaches. I'm okay. If you mean that how affect my training, didn't affect at all. Like I still have I'm on a schedule. If I have 3 workouts a day, I'm gonna do my 3 workouts a day, unless if somebody's sick or something else. But knock on wood, everything went very good, and I stick with my game plan. COVID doesn't affect my training schedule.
Thank you, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
We'll now go to Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press.
Thanks very much, Andrei. Welcome back. You mentioned, choosing your priorities. How have those changed now that you're later in your career?
180 degrees. I'm not a party anymore. I'm not drinking like I used to drink. And listen, I spend more time with my family and at the gym. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's my life. Like I said, I choose what's more important for me, and I stick with my game plan. Because I know I still have some power in my body. I still have fire in my eyes. I know what I'm doing.
And this fight wound up being pushed back. I believe it was originally set for October. What happened with the delay, and did that extra time help you in any way?
I don't know, something happened. Why we didn't fight in October, fight now, months later in November.
And you mentioned, Anderson Silva retiring. There was a lot of criticism afterwards that he held on too long. Dana White said, he shouldn't have fought. Do you worry that when the time comes in your career, you're going to have a hard time letting go?
Listen, doesn't matter what I think. If I feel that I'm okay, keep fighting, I will fight. I don't give a fuck who somebody gonna say to me. But if my body, if my health not let me fight, of course I'm not gonna fight. Because I wanna, like in 30, 40, 50 maybe years to see my kids, my grandkids, grandkids, probably that's it. Just like somebody said that Arlovski should retire back in 2009 when I lost 4 fights in a row. And at that time, my manager, Leo Karolinsky, he told me, listen, I understand what's going on right now in your head. What I know you thinking about different stuff. But listen, let's do medical check. Let's do this and that, and we will see. If you decide to keep fighting, we will fight it. That's it. That's it. It was smart, and happy that at that time Leo was in my team, and just I did what he advised me to do, and I still play my game, still fighting at age 41, and not that bad.
It's definitely worked out. There's another legend of combat sports coming back this month, Mike Tyson, and I believe you're a fan of him. How do you think he's going to do against Roy Jones Jr.?
Oh, listen, I saw his fight work in shape right now. I'm very excited about that match. And actually, I like both of them, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. But yeah, it's going to be a good fight.
All right, well,
but I don't have yet pictures of Mike Tyson. I have to ask Dana.
All right, well, looking forward to your fight this weekend. Last question real quick. Your birthday's in February. I saw on your social media you were playing with a flamethrower a while back. Are you still asking one for your birthday?
Thanks to my friend Ace, that hooked me up with the guys who made those flamethrower, whatever. I bought one, and yeah, because I had a lot of time with my older son, and definitely we're gonna do something on Christmas, on New Year, on my birthday.
All right, best of luck, Andrei.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Andrei. Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Up next, we will be joined by number 15 ranked UFC middleweight Ian Heinisch. Please click your hand icon if you wish to enter the queue. We're now joined by number 15 ranked UFC middleweight Ian Heinisch. Our first question goes to Gabriel Gonzalez with Kate Cypress.
Hey Ian, you're coming off a nice win in June. What's the mood going into this one?
It's the same mood. I made a ton of changes coming off those two close losses that I suffered last year, and I'm building that momentum. That confidence is building. I've assembled a new team, new coaches, and I just feel my momentum's picking up, and I'm excited to have the Hurricane 2.0 put on another show this Saturday.
Obviously, you had the injury, so you weren't able to make it to the last fight. Did you watch his fight against Kyle that night, and what were your thoughts on his performance?
Yeah, it was a huge bummer, man. I was really trying to take advantage of the COVID times, especially coming off a 1-minute knockout. I was trying to get that quick turnaround. Unfortunately, got injured first week back to training. And, I got to watch Brendan Allen fight a debut guy who I believe is a 170-pounder. And, I wasn't impressed. It was a back-and-forth fight. It was an entertaining fight to watch, but I've seen so many holes in his game. And, I believe I'm going to capitalize on that. And dude's just not quite at my level yet. And I'm going to give him his first lesson in the UFC, and I'm going to move on to my aspiration of being the champ and start climbing those ranks again.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have both been the LFA middleweight champion. I don't know about the timing per se, but was he ever on your radar for a fight before coming to UFC?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some words exchanged on Twitter in the past, and I got the belt before him. I got the call before him. And we've kind of came up together. He's fought some of my buddies like Eric Anders, I knew eventually we were going to fight, and he earned his shot. He's coming off, 3 or 4 wins in a row, and unfortunately, I was climbing and almost I was in the top 10 for a little bit, but unfortunately suffered a loss to the number 7 guy. Post decision. So I got to prove myself again to show the UFC that I'm ready to continue to climb the ladder and go after that belt again. So I knew I was going to fight this guy at some point, and I'm really happy that it's happening this Saturday.
Final question for me. What are you most looking forward to showing for yourself in Saturday's fight?
Just with the move, went to Thailand, then switched gyms, then trained at Extreme Couture, trained at Genesis, trained a little bit with Elevation. I've learned so much. I've grown so much. My last fight, I didn't get to quite show it all. People saw my movement with just a little bit of the fight you got to see, which was a minute. And I'm excited just to show how much improvement I've made and truly being the new Hurricane 2.0 and, a real threat for this middleweight division.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll go to Santino Honasan with Sportskeeda.
Hi, Ian.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Based on a previous interview, you spoke about having to go and face unranked fighters, working up the rankings, so to speak. How important is being able to power through or go through these kinds of fights? Obviously, fighters want the big names or want to be able to face the big names as immediately as possible. But how important is being able to take fights like these against unranked fighters?
Yeah, I'm fighting these. I'm at the end of the rankings list, at the moment. I was top 10. I fought these ranked, big name, tough fighters almost immediately in my career in the UFC. And so now, I'm at the tail end. I took some close decision losses. I've made some adjustments. I've made some changes, and I'm truly a new fighter. And now it's just adding to the highlight reel. I'm just putting wins together so the UFC can get behind me. And I can build some momentum, build my following, and I can get into these big profile fights and get into these main events and get back to where I was and continue to climb the rankings to get that belt.
All right. So if you're able to get past Brendan Allen this weekend, do you expect to be getting a step up in competition in your next fight?
When I get past Brendan Allen this Saturday, we're gonna have a conversation with my manager and my coaches, and we're just looking for opportunities, man. This is COVID times. A lot of the guys are booked. These guys keep calling me out. Mearshart called me out. Allen called me out. I handled Mearshart, about to handle Allen. Vittori called me out. I know he's got a fight booked, but if something opens up, I'll be ready. I'm ready for whatever, man. You know, I feel like I'm ready for any challenge, and we'll just see what opportunity comes my way.
All right, just last question for me very quickly. You spoke about the Hurricane 2.0. We know you've been through a lot in your life. From then to now, how much has changed, and how much has it been, like, how much improvement has it been for you?
Yeah, the improvement's huge, and not just with fighting. You know, the improvement spiritually, physically, mentally has just grown so much. It's just I'm more well-rounded as a human being, and that makes me such a dangerous fighter. And just being able to control my future, my career, the way I want it to be controlled, and being able to travel and do things I love, and make the calls that I need to make for my company, my business, and God bringing me with some of the best coaches in the world, Jacob Ramos at Genesis, and with Peter Straub and Eric from Extreme Couture. You know, just blessed, man, to have all these coaches in my life. And you're gonna see a big difference. You already saw a big difference in my last fight, and that was 5 months ago. So just imagine now.
All right, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next question is from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Ian, you've talked a lot about, working with the new team and the guys you're working with. Usually we hear that, when you work with new coaches, new teammates, it usually takes a little while to, fully get acclimated and, kind of get used to each other. What do you feel like has been the biggest difference since you've kind of been a bit of a nomad over these last 6 or 8 months where you've been in Thailand and you're Extreme Couture? I know you're still training in Colorado. Like, what's that been like for you, and how much better do you feel now going into this fight, even versus the last one?
Yeah, I mean, it feels so much better. I mean, I feel like, there was a lot of pressure that last fight. I did feel the nerves because I hadn't fought so long. I made so many changes, and it's kind of like right before you walk out, you're like, did I do the right thing? You sometimes even question that. And to see all my hard work and all these hard decisions I had to make just come to fruition and come together the way I always imagined it, and for me to put on a almost flawless performance. It was just awesome. Now the confidence is growing, the momentum is growing, the hype's growing, and I feel like it's all about that. And my mental game is just so much stronger. And I'm the type of guy, man, I just seem like I flourish when I'm in these chaotic situations with kind of being a nomad and moving and training here and new training partners. Because, I mean, you always get those new nerves when you come to a new gym. And but the good thing is I have the same coaches that were with me my last fight. That has stayed the same. And just minus Eric from Extreme Couture because he couldn't make this one. But I'm excited, man, and you guys are going to be excited when you get to see this performance on Saturday.
There's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to training in MMA. Some guys or girls flourish in a team atmosphere. Other people kind of like the more boxing style where you build a camp around you personally instead of having 50 guys around you. It seems like you're kind of going more building a camp around you. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've just been going around really seeing what works for me, and I encourage other fighters out there. Like, I feel like a cookie cutter style for everyone is not the answer because every fighter is different. And unfortunately too, with COVID has made it a lot more difficult than it used to be, for sure. So you almost kind of have to build your camp around you just because you see how many people are popping for COVID and gyms that have to shut down. So I've been kind of dodging that like the plague, bouncing out from different gym, like getting out of there just in time. And I do enjoy, kind of having that camp around me, built around me. And, I feel like I'm at the point in my career where I've earned it. I can make enough to financially support that. And, I mean, I love the team atmosphere. I love having a team behind me. But at the end of the day, I need 1 or 2 or 3 great training partners and these great coaches with their eyes on me. And that's where I improve the best.
And you mentioned that, going into this fight where you're at number 15 in the rankings, and you've been in the top 10, as you mentioned, but we have kind of a weird thing going on right now, like the hype versus reality in the division where some guys are making, giant leaps ahead without necessarily being tested. You look at a guy like Khamzat Chimaev, who I think is a supremely talented guy, but, 3 wins, and now he's fighting the number 3 ranked welterweight, and he beat a guy in Gerald Burchard, a guy you knocked out as well. Like, is it weird or frustrating when you see those kind of things happening where guys are kind of taking big leaps ahead? And Brendan Allen's a great opponent, but obviously he's not ranked right now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't try to get jealous about anyone's career path or their journey because everyone's different, man, and God has different plans for different people. And I would have loved to fight Hamazat. I was one of the guys that was like, bro, like I'm ranked. You want to test yourself into the rankings? Like I'm here. I feel like we kind of have similar styles. We have great ground game. We both have great boxing and striking as well. When I was out in Thailand, I love training with all those Russian guys in Extreme Couture. Those are the guys I'm attracted to because their mentality. I like their grappling. I like their just their style. Even when I was 13 years old, I was traveling to Moscow, Russia, and Ulan-Ude, which was in Siberia, competing against these Russian guys. I love the challenge. So I would have loved that challenge, but good for him. He got a huge jump. He passed everyone to fight Leon Edwards, and I felt like he kind of ducked me and Neil, but that's his path. I'm not hating on him. We both knocked out the same guy. I think he did it about maybe 50 seconds quicker than me, but yeah, man, it's crazy how this sport works. You just got to be ready for opportunities when they come knocking, and that's what I'm just going to keep doing. That's all I can control, and so I'm gonna, God willing, get through this fight and looking to maybe fight on the same card as Hamazat, and who knows what the future holds.
Well, he said he wants to do middleweight and welterweight. I assume if the opportunity came about, you would jump at the chance to fight him again?
I would fight him tomorrow, like if anytime, like as long as like I'm healthy, which I am, and yeah, I would love that opportunity. I would love that challenge.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you.
All the time we have for you today, Ian. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we will be joined by UFC bantamweight Raoni Barcelos. We are now joined by UFC bantamweight Raoni Barcelos. Our first question goes to Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hey, Raoni. My big question, you were scheduled to fight earlier this year, and then it was canceled with the pandemic. Was there any reason why it took you a little longer to get booked for another fight?
Você estava marcado para lutar esse ano, mas a sua luta foi cancelada por causa da pandemia. Teve alguma razão que fez com que demorasse tanto para marcar a luta?
Bom, acho que não, acho que foi consequência mesmo do Covid. Acho que nem eu e o meu adversário tivemos culpa disso e quando foi cancelado eu fiquei aguardando só ser o momento certo de lutar novamente.
No, I don't think it was anything. I think it was just because of COVID. Same thing happened to me and my opponent, and it is what it is.
With all of the time that you had between fights, what did you work on when you were at the gym and you didn't have to focus on an opponent, you could just work on your game?
Com tanto tempo durante lutas, o que você treinou como você não tinha um oponente que você tinha que focar?
Na verdade isso complica um pouco, né? Mas eu tô acostumado já com isso. E quando entrou o Khalid Taha, a gente usou uma estratégia boa por pouco tempo, mas chegar na hora da luta vai dar tudo certo.
Yeah, that always complicates things a little bit, but then after that fighting Khalid, we adjusted things, and I'm sure that when the time comes, everything's going to work out right.
You're fighting Khalid. What are your thoughts on him as an opponent?
Lutando contra o Khalid, o que você acha dele como oponente?
Um adversário muito duro, vai ser uma luta muito boa para mim e eu estou muito feliz com isso.
It's a really tough fight, really tough guy. It's going to be a great fight, and I'm really happy.
Finally, what do you most want to show for yourself in this fight?
O que você mais quer mostrar de você nessa luta?
Acho que é sangue nos olhos, a positividade toda a energia brasileira. É isso que eu quero mostrar para o meu povo brasileiro, que eu posso estar entre os top 5 e os top 10.
Blood in the eye. I want to show them how aggressive I am. I want to show everybody, the Brazilian people, that I can be among the top 10.
Hey, thank you and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Next question is from Cote Cruz with For the Win podcast.
Hi, Raoni. How you doing? Good evening.
Good.
Hey, you are on a 7-fight win streak right now. How confident are you coming into this fight? Having a late replacement is going to affect your performance?
Você vem de uma sequência de 5 lutas. Como você está confiante? Como uma... Não,
Bom, eu vou fazer minha quinta luta, na verdade, aqui dentro do UFC, e primeira luta no card principal. Eu tenho que mostrar para o Santiago e por Dana que eu posso estar entre os melhores.
So this is going to be my 5th fight in the UFC and the first time in the main card, and I need to push on Xiaonan Dana White that I can be amongst the best.
How different do you feel in the bantamweight division? Do you miss cutting weight, a less cut of a weight from featherweight? If you please could give your opinion on both divisions.
Como você se sente no UFC? É melhor pelo corte de peso? Qual é a diferença entre as duas divisões?
Eu acho que a sua relação à força, meu grappling, meu wrestling é muito mais forte do que no 145. E no 135 eu sinto muito mais forte.
I think my wrestling and my grappling gets a lot stronger at 135 than 145. I feel much.
Your training camp right now is in Brazil. A lot of fighters feel the need to go outside to find better trainers or training partners. What are your thoughts on that assessment?
Você está no Brasil. Muitos dos seus colegas de trabalho procuram os Estados Unidos para poder treinar, mas você fica lá mesmo. Qual é o seu pensamento?
Eu acho que eu já tive, né, com o wrestling, rodei em muitos países, já fiquei em camping em vários lugares. Eu tenho tudo no Brasil, eu tenho os melhores treinadores, tenho os melhores atletas para poder treinar comigo, então me sinto muito bem no meu país.
I've been all over the world training. I have everything. I have good trainers. I have everything. I feel very comfortable training.
Final question from me. Your father is Andrei Barcelos, who's a 7-degree BJJ coral belt. How do you describe growing up with such a father? At what time did you put on the gi for the first time?
Seu pai é faixa coral de 7 graus de renda. Como você se você botou o kimono pela primeira vez?
Maravilhoso, assim, o meu pai mostrou o caminho, né, do esporte, e se eu estou hoje aqui é por conta dele. Eu quero ser campeão do mundo para provar, acho que para mim e para ele, que nós conseguimos.
Marvelous, because if I'm here because of him and I want to become champion, make him proud.
Muito obrigado, Raoni. Best of luck on your fight.
Thanks so much.
Take our last set of questions from Santino Hanasan with Sportskita. Santino, you have been unmuted.
Oh, sorry. I have no questions at this time. I just left my hand raised. Sorry.
No worries. Then that's all we have for you today, Raoni. Thank you.
Welcome,
We are now joined by number 4 ranked UFC strawweight Claudia Gadelha. Our first question goes to Jay Anderson with Cateside Press.
Hey, thanks very much, Claudia. Welcome back. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Now, I mean, obviously you have a tough fight ahead of you. You've got an opponent who's undefeated so far in the UFC with Xiaonan. What are your thoughts on this matchup first of all?
I really like the matchup. I feel like I do have all the tools to prepare. He does have all the tools. So whoever is able to implement the game is win Saturday night. I'm so damn ready for that fight. You know how aggressive she is. I'm just gonna start reading training for like months. I'm local. I to New Jersey for my fight camp, but okay, so happy. Ready? Yeah.
And I mean, a win here would put you on your best streak since 2014. Do you think that would put you back in the title picture? And we know Rose looks like she's next. The rankings, whatever they mean, have you at 4th. But, where do you think this would land you?
I think I'm a pioneer in the sport. I've been doing this for my first ever strawweight fight in the UFC. It's me and back in 2014. I have a history in the big fighting for so long. Last couple years of my life, I had big transitionings, switching camps and moving from Brazil to America was very challenging for me. I had to face a lot of adversities in my life. But I feel like this is what I've been doing my entire life. Adversity. And I'm still here. I lost a few fights, but I'm always back to the gym, training, trying to improve. Fighting is my life. It's what I do for a living, and have a workout ethic. I work very, very hard, and I feel like beating Jan Saturday night. Me back to the title competition.
And the only other one that I've got for you, I mean, after your last fight with Angela Hill, she was very vocal about pursuing a rematch. You guys had a little back and forth on social media. Is that something you'd ever consider? Is that a fight that you'd like to run back?
No, not really. I already beat her. Angela talks too much. I don't like the disrespectful fighters. I'm here to respect the people that do what I do for a living because I know how hard it is. And I feel like Angela talks too much and disrespect everybody. She's already talking shit about Tisha Torres with next opponent. So I'm not worried about her. She should be training hard and then trying to get back to a winning streak.
All right, well, welcome back. Best of luck this weekend.
Next question is from Pablo Santamaria with Noti MMA Ecuador.
Hi, Claudia. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the first thing I want to ask you is you already fought under this COVID situation. Do you feel any difference between your first camp and this camp?
The first camp was very challenging because we were in lockdown. I had to train in my garage for my last fight. All the gyms were closed, things like that. Two of my coaches had COVID. We couldn't train. I'm glad I had a teammate that was fighting a week before me, and we trained together, which was Sujara Eubanks. Worked a lot in the middle of this pandemic, but now things are kind of like going back to normal. The gyms are back open, and I was able to train in a full octagon. I was able to go to the gym every day and see my coaches every day. We tried to keep a small group just so everybody was trying to play safe to be healthy. and but it's still a little weird, but better than what it was back at the beginning of the year.
Okay, I get it. So, do you feel motivated because of facing a fighter that is undefeated on the UFC and has a country behind her?
Yeah, I was undefeated too in one point of my life. I was 11-0 in one point of my life, and I lost for the first time in a year. So, I know the pressure she has on her shoulders, um, and of course she's a great fighter, but I'm ready for her.
Okay, knowing that the only loss she has is by submission, that makes you feel good because you have good jiu-jitsu or good grappling.
I know the holes in her games, in her game. I know what she does well and what she doesn't. Um, grappling is my specialty. Makes a mistake.
Okay, and my last one is, what's your prediction for the fight?
Say, submission second.
Okay, and the last thing I want to ask you is if you would like to send a message to your Ecuadorian fans.
Hey, everybody in Ecuador, thank you so much for following my career. Thank you so much for all the support and love. Watch me fight Saturday night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Claudia, and good luck on your fight.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hey, Claudia, I wanted to ask because obviously this fight was scheduled before and you had the injury. How did you use the extra time to prepare for Jan?
Actually, I was like almost ready to go when I got injured. I was 5 weeks in a fight camp. I had 3 weeks left, and I had a small injury in my knee. And because of the experience I have, and because I fought so much, so many times injured in my life, I decided to pull out of the fight or reschedule the fight. We talked to Jan's team, and they were able to wait for us to recover and get back in fight camp. So I needed a little time in the PI, getting my knee healed. And then once I got that figured out, I went back to New Jersey and I did another 8 week fight camp. It was mostly managing weight and strategy and what I have to do to beat Ian. Um, my knee is healthy. Of course, I wouldn't jump in there if it wasn't because I did so many times, like I said, and I'm good, ready to go.
Can I ask how this fight came together? Because it seemed like you and Carla Esparza, everything was going in that direction, and then there was the change up. And then obviously, you're a lot higher ranked. You are the big name going into this fight.
Yeah, I would like to fight Carla next, but like it's a timing thing, like um Carla just fought, and I was like ready to go again, and it's always like that. It's like a timing thing, I like to fight like 2 3 times a year, and I have like the months of the year that I like to fight, especially because I do my fight camp in New Jersey. I don't want to be there in winter. I'm running away from the winter in Jersey, and it's just a timing thing. But I'm pretty sure me and Carla will happen.
Finally, if you get this one, looking at the division, it looks like Whaley's probably waiting for Rose. But after that, it seems like it could be pretty open. Do you feel like you get a good one here? It may be enough to wait for the title shot, or do you think you will have to fight a Carla or someone else to really lock in another shot at the belt?
I feel like making a statement Saturday night puts me right back in the title contention. Like I said, I'm a pioneer in the sport. I've been fighting for so long. I've been in the top of the division for so long. And I'm always improving, always trying to get better, always getting back in there, and making high statements Saturday night will put me right back in.
Would you ever consider being a backup if they say, for example, hey, we're going to do Rose and Whaley in February? Would you be like, hey, you could fly me to Abu Dhabi and I'll make weight just in case?
Of course. I work for the UFC. Whatever they tell me to do, I'm there.
Thank you.
And we'll take our last set of questions from Cote Cruz with the For the Win podcast.
Hi, Claudia. How you doing? Nice talking to you.
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Fantastic. Thanks for being here today. Well, you're currently ranked number fourth. Your two last fights were against lower ranked opponents. You spoke about being the big name on this fight and being close to a title shot afterwards. Just to make sure, do you have a preference between Whaley, Rose, Joanna, and Carla if you get a big win this Saturday?
I would like to fight for the title, but I have some fights that I want to do. I still want to do because of my fighter honor. I want to fight Joanna again, and I want to fight Carla again. So after Saturday, if they give me one of these, I'll fight them.
You said coming into this Saturday, you're looking to make a statement. Do you feel that the experience you have will carry a huge punch this fight? Do you see yourself having the edge over her in that department?
Yeah, I feel like I'm very experienced. I've been there so many times.
You left Brazil in 2016, moving from different camps and learning from the best in the business. We have seen huge improvements in your performance since. Do you think training in the same place limits your growth and knowledge, or depends on the team you're in?
I think it depends on the people you're working with. Like as fighters, we are always looking to improve. We are always trying to get better. And you get to a point where if you coaches are not evolving like you are, if they're not trying to get better, if they don't have the same mentality and the same mindset as you do, you're gonna learn everything you have to learn from them. Everything they have to teach you, you can learn there. And then if they're not growing with you, then you need to learn from somebody else. And that doesn't mean you have to leave your camp. I feel like communication, with the coaches. I feel like having an open relationship with your coaches and talking about what do you want, what are your expectations, like what do you want to do, what's next for you, and like keeping your coaches as motivated as you are. It's a big help. And of course, bringing people in to learn other things from other people always helps.
This is your 12th UFC fight. Is there something that, from the start of your career until now, is the most hard thing for you during camp? And how do you push through that?
I feel like MMA is the hardest sport in the world. No, it's like it's mental, it's physical, it's everything, and it's like you have to use so many weapons. Like in boxing, you only need to worry about your hand. Kickboxing is like hands, elbows, and kicks and knees. But then, like MMA is the whole thing. You have to know so much, and also you have to be physically strong, and fast, and you have to move well. You have to have good mobility, and you have to have your mind there. It's like it's such a hard sport to play. Putting everything together, it's a challenge. Especially because it's such a young sport, right? MMA is around for less than 30 years, so we're still trying to figure out what's the best formula to do this, you know. And I feel like the hardest thing is trying to put everything together. You learn boxing, you learn wrestling. I like putting everything together to MMA. it's very hard and challenging, but that's why we're doing, in the next generation will have it will have an easier time dealing with that because we're going through these hard times now. And as the sport needs to evolve, this is gonna keep happening. But I feel like now it's the most challenging time of the sport growing so much.
Final question from me, and trying to get a hold of that last thought about the sport being young. Do you have any advice for the women entering the fight business? Because we've seen the rise of this new generation, the Miranda Mavericks of the world, right? To name the latest great female fighter. What's your advice for women entering the fight business?
I love to see all these women doing MMA right now. I'm actually one of the first ones I started doing this. I remember when I was 15 years old and I looked at my coach and I was like, hey, I want to be an MMA fighter. I used to compete jiu-jitsu, right? And I looked at my coach and I was like, hey, I want to be an MMA fighter. And he was like, are you crazy? I was like, no, that's what I want to do. And there was only a few fighters doing MMA, and it was very hard for me to find opponents. I had to fight in different weight divisions. I fought at like 135. I fought like a catch weight at 130, 125 until more women started training, and then I had more options to when it comes to opponents. But it's beautiful to see the rise of MMA. It's so beautiful to see where we are today, and we've been doing this so hard for the last 10, 15 years, and now it's paying off, like our hard work is paying off. I'm very happy for that. So for the young women that wants to fight MMA, just keep working hard. Make sure you take care of your nutrition. Make sure you take care of your mindset. To be more specific, you gotta know what you want, and make sure you have good people around you. People that really care about you and people that want to see you succeed, and go to the gym twice a day at least, and work hard.
Thank you so much, Claudia. I appreciate your time. Best of luck in your fight.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Claudia. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We are now joined by number 3 ranked UFC light heavyweight Glover Teixeira. Our first question goes to Mike Bond with USA Today.
Hey Glover, just how does it feel to be on fight week for this fight with Thiago? Third time's a charm here.
Amazing, man. I'm just glad to be here, and it's been a long camp, long waiting for this fight, and finally here. I'm very happy.
Yeah, and of course you're not a super young guy anymore. When you talk about the long camp, what kind of adjustments do you have to make sure you came into this fight week fresh still?
What are you talking about? My grandfather say I'm really young. Now, the camp is amazing, man. I adjust to the camp in the way, listening to my body, and a lot of help from the PI. UFC is at a different level now. All the help they've been giving us, and it's just been an amazing camp.
Glad to hear it. And obviously, need to kind of talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of people thought this was going to be a title eliminator just until this past Saturday when UFC announced that Israel Adesanya was going to be going up to 205. How did you feel about that news and kind of maybe taking a little bit of the steam off what this fight means for the division?
Man, I'm focused on the things that I can control, focus on the right and the present moment right now, and this fight is right 3 days away, so not really care what's going on over there. Not that I don't really care, really it's like it's out of my control. So as a fan, I'm gonna watch the fight, Adesanya and Blokovic, but it's not something in my control.
And you mentioned things that are within your control. We kind of asked Thiago the same questions earlier, and he said that, the UFC hasn't made this fight 100% official. Contracts aren't signed. He feels he can go in there and deliver a performance that would sway the momentum for a title shot back. Do you feel the same way? Something within your control, putting on a performance that maybe gets that conversation back on your side?
Yeah, definitely. Everything's possible, so we got to focus on the fight, and and with the title fight, we see what happens, man. Yes, the great performance could be put right there in a title challenge,
Yeah, and last thing from me, what do you think you have to do to beat Thiago on Saturday?
Just be myself, man. Be focused all the time, and and not sleep a second. Do what I did in training. Not playing around with these guys, and keep the pressure on him, and finish this fight.
Thanks, man.
Our next question is from Gabriel Gonzalez with Capeside Press.
Hey, Glover, can you talk about how it helped having that extra time to prepare for Thiago? I mean, do you work on more strategy? Do you just drill some more? What do you do when you get that extra few weeks?
Yeah, drill. We get close to the fight. The first time, I got tested was right a week before the fight, so we have to step back, take a couple of days off, relax, and get back in the camp drilling. My weight is down, so I look at the positive side of the thing. So it was a delayed fight. It was a long camp, but I make the best out of it.
Without giving too much away, we know he's obviously coming off those big injuries and the layoff for his legs, for his knees. Is it safe to say that some leg kicks are going to be part of your strategy during the fight?
Everything is possible, man. I train everything. Just got to keep the pressure on him, and for me, it's not much to give. Everybody knows the style. I go for the ground. I go for my wrestling. I go for my striking, and the kick is there. Definitely gonna kick. It's not about. No, I did not make a strategy going for his knee because I think this is the weak thing. I feel like it's a different. To be honest, I don't think the knee is gonna affect him too much nowadays. With knowing Thiago a little bit, I know he's focused. He's did the physiotherapy the right way, and he's gonna be 100%.
My final question, everyone talking about, Adesanya and Jan and when it might be. How do you feel about possibly being a backup? Do you feel like that would be something you'd be interested in if they say, hey, come to Abu Dhabi or somewhere and weigh in just in case?
Why not? They pay me, I'll go over there, man, make that weight for sure. But to be honest, I'm not worried about it too much right now. I'm just focused on Thiago and getting out of this fight, and who knows what happens next.
Thank you, Glover.
We'll take our next question from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey Glover, this run you've been on recently, 4-fight win streak, really looking better than ever. Is it kind of give me the idea, like what's been the motivation? You're a guy who's been a top 5, top 10 fighter your entire UFC career, but it seems like you've never lost that motivation. Where you do see some guys and some girls, they fight for the title, they never quite get back there again, they never quite attain that. Here you are now, one win away potentially from a title shot again.
Yeah, man. Just keep the dream going, keep never give up, and I'm the kind of guy that been ups and down, but I'm always there and trying to reach my dream. That's the goal is to get that title, and I don't know, just never give up and trying to get better every time, learning with the mistakes.
And obviously, you're fighting Thiago Santos. You got the new champion in Jan Blachowicz. Dominic Reyes is out there. Obviously, John Jones is gone from the division, at least for now. What are your thoughts on kind of the lay of the land at light heavyweight right now? Like, what are your thoughts on Jan, and what are your thoughts on where we sit in the light heavyweight division right now?
I think Jan he improved a lot in the last couple of years, man. He's he did amazing fight. I love the style that he fight. I think it's a good matchup for me. I was rooting for him against Reyes, but I thought rooting for him, but I thought it was going to be a difficult fight for him, and I thought Reyes was going to win. That was before the fight. That was before I watched the first minute of the fight, and then I watched the first minute of that fight, and I was like, Blachowicz is going to be the champion.
And with Thiago, you got a guy who, we kind of know him as a power striker, kind of a knockout artist, but, he did manage to, make it 5 rounds with a guy like John Jones. Went to a split decision with him. What do you expect out of Thiago? Are you kind of looking for that, him swinging big, heavy punches, kind of going for the knockout, or, what do you expect out of him?
No doubt, he's gonna be explosive. He's gonna throw shot explosive. Just gotta be smart about that. We train a lot and those stuff. Those leg kick, those kick is the most dangerous that he have, and he's an explosive guy. But it's all it is my experience and my push, and I'm also I got the knockout power. So if he's open up, I'll get him.
And last thing, Glover, you mentioned, you can't really control what the UFC is going to do in terms of the title shot, and your focus is Thiago. But is there any, I don't say frustration or maybe disappointment that the whole Adesanya thing came out, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, as opposed to maybe after this fight? Because again, if you go out there and you get a big knockout, people are probably going to be calling for you to get that title shot. Versus now we got kind of this distraction of the whole Adesanya thing. Like, is it disappointing that came out before your fight versus maybe making that decision afterwards?
Not yet. I'm not disappointed yet. It didn't happen yet. Everything's possible. We see after this fight, we go over there and make some noise, But I never really talk too much shit, but if I have to do a little bit to promote this fight and take Adesanya out of there and get the title fight, that's what I'm going to do. Get it back in the 185 division. That's easy.
Thank you, Glover.
We'll take our next question from Patrick Brokowski with TVP Sport.
Oh, Glover, can you hear me? Hi. Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. Glover, I'd like to ask. We have a few fighters in the UFC right now who are making this, who are thriving at the late stage of their careers. We have you. We have Jan Błachowicz, who won the title at age 37. We have Overeem in heavyweight. What's the key of your success to thrive at this stage of your career?
I think the focus, man. People have been more focused now, and then just listening and guys that wanted to be the champion and guys that really wanted to be in the sport and got to give all the way. The sport is growing. The sport is getting better and better all the time. So reality is like more focus. This is the thing. I think. Focus, never give up, and you keep training, and keep believing.
Okay. What do you think about the shape of the light heavyweight division right now? When John moved up, and we are talking about Easy coming up, is it more interesting right now, or was it better or gained more attention when John was dominant champion?
I think it's more interesting right now. John Jones is moving to heavyweight. And Blachowicz just won the title. He's a new guys in the horizon, and there's new guys to look at it. Looking for John Jones for so many years, and now he's a different guy.
Okay, and the last question from me. Just hypothetically, if Izzy really moves up to light heavyweight, how do you think he will compete? Because we have few guys like Thiago Santos, like Anthony Smith from middleweight who are thriving in the bigger division. But on the other hand, we also have former champions like Weidman, Rockhold, who weren't big enough or strong enough to have success.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Izzy is definitely a very good fighter. Moves a lot, and but heavyweight division, you gotta fight. Light heavyweight division, you gotta fight Blachowicz, man. Power is definitely different, But he fought a powerful guy, but we'll see what happens. I think if he fights Blachowicz, he's gonna lose.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck on Saturday.
Welcome.
We'll take our last set of questions from Luis Fernando Coutinho with Canal Encarado.
Oi, tudo bem?
Tudo.
Então, Lu, eu sei que você já respondeu algumas coisas em inglês, mas eu preciso ouvir suas respostas em português também, público brasileiro. Primeiro, eu queria saber do teu encontro com o Marreta, né? A gente viu um vídeo que circulou na internet, que o seu encontro estava pegando sol ali, e foi muito interessante que ao mesmo tempo que você falou da luta, né, que acha que um dos dois vai cair, a luta não chega no quinto round, foi uma troca de respeito muito legal. Fala um pouquinho desse encontro, e você gosta de ser tratado, ser reconhecido pelo público como um exemplo de cara que é respeitoso, mas não necessariamente quer dizer que você vai pegar leve na luta?
Todo mundo sabe como que eu luto, respeito, isso é parte da disciplina de arte marcial. Eu estava falando com ele que alguns repórteres distorcem as nossas mensagens, cara. Eu acho que eu li uma coisa que eu nem estou lembrado agora, mas que eu não falei, não tem nada a ver com o que eu falei. Eles botam no topo lá para vender, você entendeu? Mas o Marreta, eu conheço eles, entendeu? Não preciso de ficar aqui promovendo a luta. E eu só estava falando com ele que às vezes com certeza eu acredito que um vai cair, espero que ele, acredito que ele, mas assim, isso é uma coisa que é normal, ele com certeza está acreditando que vai conseguir me vencer, isso é normal para qualquer lutador, mas teve uma coisa que eu li aí, eu não estou lembrado agora, mas umas coisas que é distorcida pelos jornalistas. Eu acho que, talvez, principalmente pelos jornalistas brasileiros, não sei. Pelo menos é o que eu mais vejo, né? Talvez porque eu leio mais as notícias em português, mas isso é muito chato, porque você não fala uma coisa, Os caras têm um gravador aí e fala uma coisa totalmente diferente. Simplesmente isso que eu tava falando.
E Glover, por que você acha que essa luta não chega no quinto round? Analisando o casamento do estilo dos dois, como é que você vê essa luta acontecendo?
Você vê pelo estilo de luta do Marreta, meu estilo de luta, dois caras que buscam finalização. A finalização que eu falo é tirar dali, né, o nocaute, o TKO, ou finalização mesmo, para sair, ou tirar logo dali e não deixar nas mãos dos juízes.
E Glover, queria saber qual foi a tua reação quando você viu o Dana White anunciando, né, que o Adesanya vai enfrentar o Blachowicz na próxima disputa de cinturão. Qual foi a tua reação? Você acha justo? O que você achou disso?
Estou focado nessa luta, acho que isso foi... Eu vi isso, acho que foi, sei lá, foi 3 dias atrás. Mas eu já estava muito focado nessa luta e vou continuar focado e não preocupo nisso, que é uma coisa que não está no meu controle.
O Marreta disse que dependendo do que acontecer nessa luta, o Dana White pode mudar de ideia. Você concorda que vencendo de uma forma expressiva, o Dana White esquece essa ideia de Adesanya de meio pesados?
Sempre, tudo pode acontecer, claro, tá certo ele.
E levando em consideração as características físicas do Adesanya, que você já viu dele como lutador, como é que você acha que ele se sai na divisão de vocês?
Cara, eu acho que pelo poder, pelo que eu vi o Blachowicz lutando aí, eu acredito que ele pode ser nocauteado, sim. Eu acho que ele vai perder essa luta, ele lutar Blachowicz. Mas até porque que ele não entra, não faz entrada de quedas ou nada, vai querer fazer o strike com ele. Mas o Adesanya com certeza é um lutador top, um lutador muito inteligente e vai ser uma luta dura.
E por último, eu queria te pedir que você deixasse uma mensagem para o público brasileiro, né? Não sei se você já notou isso, mas sua luta contra o Marreta é uma luta que está atraindo muitas atenções do público brasileiro, porque são dois caras muito queridos pelo público. Então, qual que é a mensagem que você deixa para a galera?
É isso aí, galera. A gente respeita um ao outro. Eu conheço o Marreta, eu até falei com ele há um tempo atrás, quando ele passou para a categoria meio pesado, estava lutando na categoria 8-4 ainda. Eu lá falando assim, motivando, né? Falando que ele vai ser um grande lutador. E realmente ele lutou com o John Jones, mas essa luta vai ser uma batalha, vai ser uma guerra. E espero eu sair com a vitória aí. Estou muito bem treinado para isso e muito confiante. Né?
Valeu, Glover. Obrigado.
Nada.
That's all the time we have for you today, Glover. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are now joined by UFC heavyweight Tanner Boser. Our first question goes to Gabriel Gonzalez with Gateside Press.
Hey Tanner, so the last time you talked about losing your shorts, is everything good this time? You got all your clothes, everything's good?
Yeah, everything's fine. I haven't lost any shorts yet. Nothing's gone missing, so we're in the clear.
Perfect. I think everyone is going to be relieved to hear that. You're fighting former champion, probably one of the most veteran of veterans on the roster. Just what are your thoughts on Andrei Arlovski as an opponent?
Andrei Arlovski is like you said, a veteran of veterans. He's a former champion. He's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's a massive fight for me. He's fought all the best guys in the world, everyone from Fedor to Overeem, everybody. He's fought them. It's going to be a tough fight, but it's an exciting opportunity for me.
for a lot of people, 2020 has been a rough one. It's been quite a ride. But professionally, I mean, it's gone about as well as it could go for you. You've had great performances. You've really started to stand out. How would you sum up your year so far?
So far, so good for me. Yeah, I'm on a 2-fight winning streak. I had a fight get canceled in March, but I quickly made up for it by having 2 over the course of the summer. But yeah, this will be my 3rd fight this year, and if I win, well, 2020 will have been a good year for me, and if I lose, then it'll have been an all right year for me, I guess. But a lot of people have it way worse than me. I'm still able to work and still able to earn a living because UFC's been able to, keep the shows going. As a matter of fact, ramp up the quantity of events, which is amazing.
Going back to Andrei, after he got sick, so you've had an extra month to prepare, like you said, just his status in the sport. Can you just talk about what it would mean to you personally to get this one on your resume as a win?
Yeah, what does it have to do with having an extra month? Having an extra month or not doesn't change the importance of getting this win, but Andrei would be the biggest win of my career. He's a former champion. It's a huge fight. But I gotta win. It's not gonna be easy.
Hey, good luck. Thanks, Tanner.
Thanks.
We'll take our next question from Cody Cruz with For the Win podcast.
Hey Tanner, how you doing? Good to talk to you.
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. You come from 2 victories by TKO, 2 straight performances of the night. This is the 3rd fight for you in 2020. How would you describe this year for your career, and what message would you send to the top 15 of the division?
Coming off 2 knockouts, but 1 performance of the night. I didn't get performance of the night for knocking out Felipe Lins.
I'm sorry. I apologize. You're right.
Yeah. And the importance of getting a third good performance. Was that your question?
Yes.
Another win is another win bonus, and another win solidifies me a little bit, not just maybe as a guy who's in the top 15, but in the UFC's roster. I'm more stable, You win a fight, you got job security. It's kind of what it's about.
You're one of the new hot prospects from Canada at the time. How would you describe representing your country in the division that is the most dangerous in the UFC?
I love representing Canada. I'm happy that I'm able to be that guy right now. For Canada, there's a lot of up-and-coming Canadians, I feel like. I think Canada's doing pretty good right now, but I'm always happy to represent Canada.
I would like to know your opinion on this situation in the heavyweight division with Miocic and Ngannou and the eventual arrival of John Jones. How do you see this picture? What's your take on it?
I think Ngannou deserves the next title shot, so it's good that he's getting it. I got to see how that one shakes out. If John Jones comes and he gets an immediate title fight, that's completely deserved. And none of that concerns me because I am at the cusp of top 15. I am nowhere near title contention, so to be honest, I don't give a shit what any of them do.
Fair enough, sir. Final question. Your mullet has taken a lot of looks during your fights, and it's been said that it's your true source of power. Would you define it as your own seal?
As my what?
As your own seal, as your own way of presenting yourself.
I've just had a mullet most of my life. I can neither confirm or deny if it's the source of my power. I don't know if I'm the incarnation of Samson from the Bible or whatever, but it's just how I look,
It's okay, man. That's awesome. Have a great day and have an awesome performance on Saturday. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thanks.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jay Anderson with Cateside Press.
Hey, Tanner. Welcome back. I know you've been hit with a lot of the Arlovski as a champion, Arlovski as a legend questions. First of all, is he a guy that you watched when you were younger? Were you a fan of his?
Not really. So when I started watching UFC, Arlovski wasn't in there anymore. It was during the break when he was away fighting in other promotions before he came back to UFC. I knew who he was, of course, and I'd seen some replays on like Spike TV or whatever where I've seen his fights with Tim Sylvia. I was aware of him, and I definitely cheered for him on his win streak when he came back to UFC. I'd say I cheer for Arlovski more than I don't. Obviously not in this one, but is he a guy that I watched a lot? No, I've definitely seen most of his fights, but he was never a guy I was overly a fanboy of, but I always enjoyed watching him fight, and I have a lot of respect for him.
So the reason I ask is over the weekend we saw Uriah Hall face Anderson Silva, obviously Silva's retirement fight, and ahead of it, Hall almost kind of wanted to avoid that line of talk because, he's fighting a guy who he was a fan of. So it's not going to be too hard for you then to kind of put his mystique to the side and just see this as another opponent.
That is not going to be an issue for me at all. I have a job to do. I'm here for work. I go in the cage and I fight who I'm supposed to fight. This happens to be Andrei Arlovski. Yes, I've seen lots of his fights. Yes, I'm aware that he's a legend of the sport, and I'm aware that he's probably a future Hall of Famer. I don't have to have something against my opponent or a disdain or a lack of respect or something to go in there and try and kill them. That is my job. So no, it's not going to affect me in the slightest.
Gotcha. And you mentioned being on the cusp of the top 15. Do you expect that a win over Arlovski, that's going to put you right there?
I don't know. Number 15 kind of flip-flops. There's probably 5 or 6 guys that could all be number 15 in the rankings. I was there for a couple weeks till Marcin Tybura beat Big Ben, and then he got put there. It's kind of just a rotating roster. I don't really care about that much. Look, I can't control what other people's perspective is or their interpretation of who the top 15 are. All I can do is try and win this fight. So that's all that matters to me, is getting the win. Where people rank me after that, I couldn't care less.
Gotcha. And last one for me. I mean, this will be the 3rd fight of the year. Chances are probably the last one, but if you could sneak one in, would you be looking to do so?
Everything hinges on how this fight goes. If I come out of it, I'm not hurt, an opportunity arises, then I would probably consider it. Yeah, I would likely do it. But other things I have to consider are Canada's 2-week quarantine rule when you go back. So if things don't change and I'd have to quarantine for 2 weeks over Christmas or something like that and not be able to see my family, that's definitely something I would think about. But I would definitely be open to fighting one more time this year if I emerge from this fight without injuries. Not something I'm really thinking about. I think this is going to be a tough 15-minute fight, and I think I'm going to leave that cage hopefully victorious, but definitely banged up. So,
all right, well, looking forward to it. Best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks.
That's all we have for you today, Tanner. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you.
We are now joined by UFC bantamweight Khalid Taha. Our first question goes to Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hey Khalid, obviously returning from a suspension, you've had a year away. Just what did you take away from the whole experience?
Yeah, it was a tough year. I think it was a tough year for everyone, especially with the virus and all this crazy quarantine stuff. But yeah, I'm ready to be back and happy to be back and can't wait to be back.
How did you change up your training, if at all, when they gave you a new opponent?
I didn't change it a lot because they are quite the same. They're both like black belts, likes to go to the ground, likes to take his opponents down, take the center of the cage. So there was not quite a lot, and especially I'm never preparing that strictly to an opponent. I just do like whatever I do, almost like spiking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. I do everything to be as good as possible in every possible.
We found out about the change-up just last week. How long have you known that Raoni is going to be your opponent?
The same. It came like we have the time difference between me and my manager. He's here in Vegas and I was in Germany. It was like, I don't know, through the night or in the evening, and I just got the message and I was like, yeah, let's go.
Gotcha. Finally, just what do you most want to show for yourself in the fight?
I just want to go all in. I wanna show myself that, and I want to show everybody else that I deserve to be in the top 15 or in the top 10, and I just want to give everything, like always. I never hold back, and that's the success. That's the key for the success in this fight and in the fights before.
Thank you, Khalid. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Khalid. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're now joined by UFC middleweight Brendan Allen. We'll take our first set of questions from Jay Anderson with Stateside Press.
Hey, Brendan, welcome back. This fight feels like it's been a long time coming, so how satisfying is it to finally be in fight week and lined up with Ian Heinisch?
It's just another fight. Just got to go out there and do what I can do and get the W. That's all it is to me. Another fight.
So I know you say it's another fight, but you were pursuing this one for a while, if I'm not mistaken, and I think you were kind of upset that he had dropped out of maybe a past matchup. So have you just kind of put that in the past now, and you're just kind of just set on the night itself?
None of that matters right now. I'm focused on what I need to do, focused on the task at hand, and nothing else matters. Just television right now.
With the fight being pushed back when he pulled out originally and you had the short notice fight against Dawkins, did that change your mindset going into this in the sense of, did you focus more on yourself just in case it happened again?
I always focus on myself. I don't really care about what my opponent's doing. I can't control what they're doing. I can only control what I'm doing. I can only control my preparation. Can't control what happens fight night or the outcome or anything like that. I can just control my preparation, and that's all I control every fight. And I had the best that I could have.
And Ian came out recently in an interview and he said the two of you were at the PI together. You wouldn't make eye contact with him. He read it that you're afraid of him. I mean, you both fight for a living. You've signed the contract, so that seems not to be the case. But do you just see that as fight promotion, or is he trying to convince himself?
I don't know. He's the one. I don't know. Whatever he has to tell himself to sleep at night to get to this fight, whatever he has to put around him to put words in his head, it makes no difference. I'm not scared of a man on this planet whatsoever. The only man that I was scared of, my father, and I'm not scared of him. I have most respect for any on this planet. I'm scared of no man on this planet. I don't care what he thinks. I don't care what he says. I don't care. I'm just here for me. I'm here to take a check and go home to my girls and to my family. All that matters. I could care less what he says or.
All right. Well, best of luck this weekend.
We'll take our next set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with K-Type Press.
Hey, Brendan. So you're on a great win streak. I was just wondering, do the emotions, does the excitement go up? Because, with Ian, this kind of feels like that, that next step up. They're finally, looks like they're giving you the test to see, hey, can this guy really move up our ranks a lot faster?
I don't really know. I kind of feel like that down per se from the guys I've been fighting for his talent. But honestly, it's just, like I said, it's just another fight. I'm focused on what I need to do. I don't care whatsoever. Whatever he's doing, I don't care of all the animosity or all the he said, she said stuff that surrounds it. I'm focused on one thing and one thing only, and that's getting my hand raised on Saturday night.
People have a lot of emotions when talking about 2020 and everything that's happened, but you've been on a great win streak. You're on a great run. Professionally, it seems like it's all good. How would you sum up your year personally?
Good, man. My family's healthy. That's all I care about. My family's healthy. I'm blessed. Good.
Finally, what do you most look forward to displaying in your performance this Saturday?
I'm not looking forward to really displaying anything. I just want to go out there and be the guy that's been in the gym and do what I need to do and be very calculated and take advantage of anything that he leaves open. I just want to capitalize on everything. I want to feel fear in his heart and make him second guess things really early. That's my goal every time, is just instill fear, make them second guess, and that's the goal Saturday night. Put fear in his heart and make him second guess why he's there.
Thank you, Brendan. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Brendan. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
We're now joined by number 8 ranked UFC strawweight, Xiaonan. Our first question goes to Gabriel Gonzalez with Cateside Press.
Hi, Jan. My first question, how much did it help having the extra time after Claudia got hurt to prepare for this fight?
一个问题，你有这一段多余的时间，帮助。
觉得就是所有事情，也给我更多的时间去备战上。
So everything comes to good at the end. It gives her more time to prepare for the fight.
Can I ask you guys both to speak up just a little bit?
Okay. So she believes in everything. Everything good comes to the end, and it gives her more time to prepare for this fight. That's it.
Thank you. You're on a great win streak. Claudia's a big name. Is there extra emotion because you know this could be the fight that really pushes you forward in the strawweight division?
现在是连胜，克劳迪亚对你来说是一个，就是他的名声不错，对你来说你有多余的一些情绪吗？
没有，我觉得它能给我带来一场更大的胜利，也能证明我的实力。
So she didn't feel any actual emotions, and she feel like Claudia can give her a bigger victory, and it will prove how good she is. That's it.
A lot of people feel like she did not win her fight with Angela Hill. Did she think that Claudia won the fight?
很多人觉得克劳迪亚和这个 Angela Hill 打比赛，她没有赢，但是你觉得谁赢了？
我看了那场比赛，我觉得两个看谁赢都可以，都差不多很接近。
She watched the fight, and it's a very close fight. Whoever can win the fight.
My final question, we hear a lot about how popular the current champion Weili Zhang is in China. Yan is obviously from China herself. How big does she think a potential fight between her and Weili would be back home?
现在张伟丽是名气特别大，在美国，在中国，你觉得就是长远来看，你们两个这个中国德比对你来说，这个你觉得怎么样？
我希望这场中国德比会发生，而且我也希望会发生在中国。我觉得我会胜出，而且我觉得我会比他争向冠军。
You think it's gonna be a big fight, and it's gonna be a fight everybody's watching back home, and also in the States. And Xiaonan think she's more like a champion than Weili.
Can she describe what she means by that?
So can you repeat your question? What do you mean by that?
When she says that she feels she's a more champion than Weili, what does she mean?
为什么说你比伟丽更像冠军一点？
因为我更漂亮。
Because Xiaonan is prettier. That's what she said.
Oh, okay. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Jay Anderson with Cateside Press.
Thanks very much, and welcome back. I wanted to ask, one thing you haven't had yet is a finish in the UFC. Is it important to you to try and go out and get that statement finish?
说你这个比赛中你还没有终结，对你来说是拿一场终结胜利是不是很重要？
对，我希望有一场终结的胜利，能证明我的实力，希望会给大家带来就是好的比赛，我希望会终结。
She hope this upcoming fight gonna ended up in a finish win, and it's gonna prove her fighting ability and everything.
And you haven't lost in the UFC. You've got 5 straight wins, but there hasn't been a lot of title talk about you. Do you feel overlooked at all?
现在这个你虽然连胜5场吧，但是在 UFC 里边还没有人就是说让你现在挑战冠军什么，觉得他们有没有忽视你？
觉得忽视了我真正的实力，希望我能抓住这次机会，大家看到我的力，看到我的。
She think her ability is kind of ignored, and she think this fight is gonna prove her finish ability, gonna show everybody how good she is.
And if you do get into the title picture and you were to fight with Zhang Weilei, what would make you the fighter to defeat her?
如果你赢了这场比赛之后，就是让你和张伟丽打，你对张伟丽来说是有什么能让你战胜他？
我觉得我最大的优势就是中国，我更了解他的一些，所以说我了解他。
She said because we all in China, we all from China, and we all know each other. So that's also her advantage because she know her opponent better.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Looking forward to the fight this weekend. Best of luck.
That's all we have for you today, Jan. Thank you. This concludes the UFC Fight Night Santos versus Teixeira